friends, welcome back to math. Today you and I are going to learn how to skip count by fives, tens, and 100s all the way to 1000. Let's go watch our visual learning video to help us get started.
How can you skip count on a number line?
Let's find out.
The number line shows skip counting by fives. At which number does the number line start?
Starts at 400.
It starts at 400. By how much does each number increase as you move from left to right?
Well, we're going from 400 to 405, which is an add of 5, plus 5 more would be 410, plus 5 more would be 415, so it looks like we're skip counting by fives.
The numbers increase by 5. What pattern do you see in the ones digits?
Going from 0 to 5, 0
The
to 5.
ones digit is either 0 or 5. There is a pattern of 0, 5, 0, 5, and so on. What would the next number be in the pattern after 430?
Well, we have to add 5 more, so 435.
The next number is 435. This number line shows skip counting by hundreds. Compare the two number lines. What is the same? What is different?
Let's try it. So it says select a statement and compare the number lines. Skip count by fives.
The first number line skip counts by fives.
Ends at 1000.
The second number line ends at 1000.
Skip count by 100s.
The second number line skip counts by hundreds.
And starts at 400.
Both number lines start at 400.
Those are how our number lines are the same or different.
Both number lines start at 400. Both skip count. The first number line skip counts by fives. The bottom number line skip counts by hundreds. Do the tens digits change when you skip count by hundreds?
Select your answer.
No, they don't, because we're increasing, we're counting, we're adding on 100 each time, so our tens aren't changing at all.
No, the tens digit does not change. Do the ones digits change when you skip count by hundreds?
No, they don't change either.
No. Do the hundreds digits change when you skip count by hundreds?
Yes.
Yes, the hundreds digits go up by 1 each time. Now you know how to skip count on a number line.
Okay, let's get some practice in our workbooks. So you should have your workbook, and we're going to turn to page 548, so make sure you do that now. Pause me if you need to, and get your pencil, and then we're going to do these two guided practice problems together. It says skip count on the number line, write the missing numbers. So let's look at our first number line. It goes 600, 610, 620, missing number, 650, missing number, 680. So let's look at the parts that are close together and see how much are they increasing each time. When I go from 600 to 610, I'm adding 10. If I go from 610 to 620, I'm also adding 10 again. So that must mean that we are skip counting by tens. So let's figure out what our missing numbers would be. 620 plus 10, well, my ones aren't going to change. My hundred's not going to change. So I just need to increase my 10. So instead of having 2 tens in 620, I'm going to have 3 tens in 630. Plus 10 more would be 640. And then our pattern continues, 650. Oh, plus 10 more would be 660. Plus 10 more would be 670. And then we get all the way to the end at 680. Nice. Let's see what is going on with this number line. So we have missing number 100, missing number 300, missing number 600, missing number 800, This one is tricky. Now here's how we can figure this out. If we look at how many spaces are between 600 and 800, we can see that there's only 2 spaces, but you would have to add 200 to go from 600 to 800. So if we split that in half, if we cut it down the middle, that would be adding 100. So let's try that. 700. We would add 100 to 600, and that would get us to 700. And then we'd add 100 to 700, and that would also get us to 800. So let's try that with the rest of our missing numbers and see if that pattern is correct. So let's think. If we're starting at 100, but there's a missing number down here, what is 100 less than 100? It's just 0, which means our number line starts at 0. So we go 0 plus 100 equals 100. 100 plus 100 equals 200. Our hundreds are the only things changing in our numbers. Plus 100 equals 300. Plus 100 would be 400. Plus 100 would be 500. Plus 100 would be 600, and then 700 and 800. We figured it out. We're going to watch one more quick video.
Hey, look! I have a number line here, but it needs some numbers. There we go. It shows skip counting by 5s. And check out the 1s digits. What do you notice? Exactly. They keep changing back and forth from 0 to 5. And if I change all the numbers, I see that it's now skip counting by hundreds. I see a pattern in the hundreds digits. Do you? The hundreds digit keeps going up by 1. So if I continue the number line, what would the next number be? You got it! 900. Skip counting is a piece of cake, especially when you can figure out what the pattern is. Nice work!
Let's hop back in our workbooks and let's turn that page. Let's do number 3. So we're doing the same thing we did in our guided practice. We need to fill in the missing numbers once we figure out what the pattern is. So let's look at our numbers. 20, missing number 40, 50. Missing number, 80, missing number 100, 110, missing number 130, 140. Now, if you look at this, do you think we're skip counting by 5s, 10s, or 100s? Well, it can't be 5s because then our 1s would be going back and forth between 0, 5, 0, 5, but they're not. They're all 0s in the 1s place. It can't be hundreds because we don't get to 100 until all the way down here. So we can't be skip counting by 100s, which means we must be skip counting by 10s. And if we look at our jump right here, we do. We go 40 plus 10 equals 50. So now let's fill in our missing numbers. 20 plus 10 equals 30. Our 10s increased by 1. So 2 10s, 3 10s, 4 10s, 5 10s, 6 10s or 60. 7 10s or 70, 8 10s, 9 10s or 90, and then we go 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. So the whole way down, our 10s are increasing by 1. We're skip counting by 10s. Look at number 4 and see if you can figure out what the pattern is and try and find those missing numbers. Pause me and then come back when you think you figured it out. Okay, so I'm looking at the 1s first here. I see 0, 5, 0. So I'm seeing a pattern already in my 1s, and I'm seeing 20 to 25 would be adding 5. So I think we're skip counting by 5s. So 20, 820, 825, 830. If I add 5 more, that would be 835. Plus 5 more would be 840. Plus 5 more, 845, plus 5 more would be 850, plus 5 more would be 855. And we can double check. We just have to see and make sure that our 1s are going 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. Whenever you're skip counting by fives, the ones place is going to go 0, 5, 0, 5. Because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There's going to be either a 5 or a 0 in the ones place. Let's get into number 5. Okay, it says, look at the skip counting pattern, write the missing numbers. So now we're just looking at a pattern and filling it in. So let's read number 5. 100, 200, 300, 400. What do you think comes next? Well, we're skip counting by hundreds, aren't we? So 500. And then what's next? 600. So in this pattern, we're adding 100 each time, which means our hundreds place is going to go up by 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's increasing by 100 every time. I want you to do number 6, try and figure out the pattern and fill in those missing numbers. Pause me and then come back when you got that all figured out. Okay, let's look. 930, 940. Well, 930 plus 10 would be 940. So I think we're skip counting by tens. So 10 more would be 950. Plus 10 more, 960, 970, plus 10 more, 980. It's not too tricky. You just have to figure out what the pattern is first and then filling in the missing numbers. Okay, we're going to turn the page. Let's do number 10. It says Greg is skip counting. He writes 430, 435, 440 on his paper. Greg wants to write 3 more numbers after 440. What should they be? So look at these numbers, friends. What do you think the pattern is? How much is Greg skip counting by? Is he counting by 5s, 10s, or 100s? Well, 0, 5, 0. So that means he's counting by 5s. So if we're at 440 and we want to add 5 more, that would be 445. Plus 5 more would be 450. Plus 5 more, 455. So that's our pattern, and if we kept going, those would be our next 3 numbers. Let's look at number 11. It says Zoe is skip counting. She writes 300, 400, 500 on paper. Zoe wants to write 3 more numbers after 500. What should they be? Pause me, figure it out, write them down, then come back when you think you got it. Okay, let's look at that pattern. 300, 400, 500. My ones and my tens aren't changing, and I'm adding 100 every time, so that means I'm skip counting by 100. So 300, 400, 500. Next would be 600, 700, and 800. That would be our pattern if we kept going, because we're skip counting by 100s. Great job, friends. That is your goal for today, is to practice and keep mastering how to skip count by 5s, 10s, and 100s all the way to 1,000. I even dare you, I challenge you to practice. Try and skip count by 5s all the way to 1,000. Try and skip count by 10s all the way to 1,000. Try and skip count all the way to 1,000 by 100s, okay? Try it out, you guys. Let's look at your homework, though. Okay, here's your homework. I want you to go back into the workbook to the pages that we were just in and do these 4 problems. So number 7, number 8, number 9, and 13. I also challenge you to do that skip counting practice, and then go do your quick check. And after that, spend some time on Math Facts Pro practicing those addition and subtraction facts. Or if you're in my class, today would be a good iReady day. I will see you again back here tomorrow, friends. Bye.